Hi, and welcome everyone. It's Lavender Sky Panther with you on Tuesday, August 20th, 2024, for a fun little card reading today. And this time, get ready. We're going to do a little Bibliomancy, guided to do that. And for whatever reason, the book that we are going to base that on is this one. This one really wanted to come out for whatever reason, the SAS Survival Handbook. Now, it's not survival or surviving in a sense of kind of being panicked or need to do something that's life, life and death kind of situation. This is more survival in the sense of looking at the creativity aspect and the ingenuity aspect. So how inventive we all get, when we're put into certain situations, and how resourceful. So if anything, this is an overwhelmingly positive aspect of that, of like, wow, we as creative beings, really do come up with a lot of stuff when we say necessity. What is it? So necessity is the mother of invention. Is that it? That we are left to our own devices, and in some extreme circumstances, we always rise to the occasion and use our beautiful creativity and ingenuity, right? And resourcefulness. So that's the aspect we're focusing on. So, I don't know what kind of mood you want to get into this, if we want to set the stage and put a little background music on. Of course, we've got one song comes to mind with the Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, but that's kind of like, it's anthemic music, yeah, but she's in it and she's just saying, yeah, no matter what, I'm going to survive. But then you also have the another song by Destiny's Child, which is Survivor. And, it goes something like, I don't really want to sing it, but if I can just say the lyrics, I'm a survivor, not going to give up, not going to stop. So it's saying, like, I already have survived, I've done it in the past, I'll do it again every freaking time, and it's like almost got that stomping, marching, anthemic energy, like nothing's going to stop me, right? So anyway, anywho, let's move back on and look at the whole table. But actually, before I do that, let me focus in on each of the groups that you have to choose from. If you want to today, you can choose 1, 2, 3, or all 4 of them, however you like, or none of them, and just skip ahead to the Bibliomancy part that I'll do after the cards. As I said, I think I said already, I've done this a couple times, done a couple of takes on this. I'm going to start with the cards first and read predominantly from the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. And then I'll lend a little color extra insights if I'm guided. If not, we'll just stick with the straight up reading from the book and then get to the Bibliomancy part. Before I do that too, nope, got to catch myself. Yeah, let's go ahead and I'm going to zoom in and show you what you can choose from. So we've got this beautiful black obsidian slice to the left. That's group 1. If I can get there we go. Pointer is my finger. Here we go. There. That's 1. It's a beautiful crystal, green crystal on top. You know what? I forget the name of what that one is. So we'll just call it a green crystal. I don't think it's green tourmaline. I think it's something else. But anyway, we've got a beautiful pairing of a black obsidian and the green crystal as group 1. Group 2 is this yellow Jasper over here. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. That's what we'll go with in the meantime. And then we've got some type of shell, and I think it's either oyster or clam shell, but it's definitely from the ocean, and it's a shell. That's group 3. And then group 4, even though it has an upside down 3 on it, is group 4. And actually, funnily enough, you see the card below even says 3. I don't know, something big on group 4, but it's number 3. Just looking at the stone itself is a painted jasper, from what I remember. It gets really pretty when you put water on it. And even though it says a 3, that's an upside down 3 because it was $3 several years ago, the crystal price. But what it's looking to me now is also an E, or I think it looks kind of like a sigma, the Greek letter, I believe so. So anyway, those are the 4 groups, and now we'll go in reverse. That's group 4, group 3, group 2, and group 1. Okay, now I'm going to zoom out, and you can see the cards. You can get a little sneak peek here, preview. We'll be reading from the book on them anyway. But I also have in the foreground here, this wanted to jump out and be a part of the table too, to reinforce the overall theme of survival and our ingenuity and creativity. So if you're not familiar with this, it is called a kalimba, or also known as a thumb piano. And it comes in all shapes, forms, sizes. That's why I love it too. It's so creative. You can actually do this, this particular one is, you can do it yourself, a version of it. So it wanted to come out on the table today because it's also made of a shell. It's a coconut shell. And it just reminds me, if you were in quote-unquote true survival mode on an island, say a tropical island, you would have coconuts at your disposal. Now, even though it's much easier to do them with modern-day tools, and I'm going to put a YouTube link in there on how to do it yourself kalimba from a coconut just for fun. Now they use, wood shop tools that you wouldn't have in an island, presumably, but you could buff this thing out, with the manual hard labor there if you're sitting there on the island. And I know you could also find things and be resourceful and craft, these other parts. It could get real interesting, right? Again, necessity is the mother of all invention. So you'd figure out a way if you wanted to make one of these. Now, it's best to play this, and you can look around too if you like on the internet, on YouTube, and see people actually playing this thing. You need to kind of have two hands on it to do it the best. Use two thumbs. I'm just going to try to do my best because I hold the camera with my other hand. As you see, I don't use the tripod, but you can get an idea, of how it works, right? And you can tune this. There's videos on how to tune it. There's all sorts of stuff. Now, what I'm going to do is flip this over because I think it goes best, with the reading, just on the nice polished side, and it's less distracting so as we can get to the cards. Now, what I'd like to do is, in the spirit of creativity and ingenuity, instead of doing the predictable, 1, 2, 3, 4, and go through the cards this way, I'm going to start with 4 and go in reverse and be a little creative. I would even hop around randomly, but then I might forget to do all the cards, so we will go in order, but just flip it up and reverse it up a bit. So we're going to start with the arrow, and I'm just going to pan over the card. I am going to read it straight up from the book, and like I said, if I have any little extra insights coming through, I will say it. Otherwise, we'll just do straight up reads on from the companion book this time around. So give me a moment, and we'll go ahead now. This book is really nice. I really like the phrasing, of how they describe things in here, and also the way they break it down. So we've got the essence, the invitation, and the medicine. Now, the medicine is for when the card is in reverse, but a lot of times there's a lot of great meanings that can be gleamed out of there and might apply to somebody out there. So I'm going to read all three, okay? So, you know what? I actually accidentally went to the wrong page. Give me a minute. I went to the one for another group. So let me get to the right one here for the arrow. What number did we say? You got number 3. And let's see what we have. And for the positive aspects, if I didn't mention it already, I've done this a few takes, so forgive me if I have. I'm going to put in the description area below a link, just the name of an Australian blog site where you can type in any number you want and get the positive aspects of that number. All right, so here we go, the arrow. All right, and I'm going to try not to move the camera around too much on you. I don't want to make you motion sick, so just bear with me if I wander a little with the camera. Okay. So for the arrow, the essence. Receiving this symbol reminds you that when you are in alignment with your heart and soul, you are on target and will soon be hitting your mark. Be true to your calling, release attachments, and free yourself from the bondage of unbridled ambition. Now is revealed to be a moment of contact in which your intention meets the material world. The arrow also symbolizes the need to set your creativity free. Yeah, let that creativity fly. Okay, the invitation in the book says, when the arrow zings through the air, it is inviting you to pay attention and signifying that you're about to make your mark in some aspect of your life. It illuminates the moment of contact when you know that that your desires and intentions have traveled on the wind and landed in the perfect place for your highest good. Trust that your job is to be released yet. Let me read that again. Trust that your job is to be relaxed yet focused, keeping your eye on the prize, yet releasing your intention with full expectation that it will land as it is supposed to. Don't worry about the how or the exact form. This is not the time to interfere with the manner in which the arrow flies. It will make its mark, and you will have come to celebrate. You will have cause to celebrate. Sorry, guys, it's getting dim outside. I was relying on natural daylight, but we're losing it. All right, the medicine. So if this were in reverse, but I still think there's something noteworthy in here for us all probably. This is a time to admit that by continuing on the path you are on, you might be shooting yourself in the foot. Could it be that you have become so attached to winning this game that you have missed the true mark? What if your arrow was never meant to land where you wanted it? Now is the time to regroup and ask yourself if what you desire is really worth your energy. This is a sign that something better is waiting. Consider the wisdom is not getting what you want. Suffering in this case is a pathway to heal the parts of you that feel unworthy. The parts that worry there isn't enough. Make peace with those voices. What is truly yours will be waiting for you. Okay, beautiful messages in there. And what I want to say too is just to emphasize that looking at this arrow, yes, it's all about focus. We know that, like straight as an arrow. There's, kind of like, what do you call it? Tunnel vision even, kind of focus. But in this case, yes, there's focus, but it's kind of like let the arrow land where you focused with your eyes closed, not so much with your eyes open and focusing and trying to line stuff, right? It's going in with that intuition. It's not worrying about where that arrow is in space and time, just knowing that it is aloft, it is in motion. Okay, that's all I'm getting there. So now we're going to go to group 3. All right, group 3. Let's see what you have card-wise. We've got number 64, which is a number 10 or a number 1. And I will put it in the description area below, the name of the Australian blog site that you just type in any number and you will get the positive aspects of that numbers and meanings behind it. It's really nice to check that out if you wish. And here, let's look at this beautiful card right now and see what the message is. It's the Witness. So now I will read it from the book straight up and we'll see if any messages want to come through after. So let me get to that page, 64. All right, here we go. Got a little bonus message. The card that I put there as a bookmark also had Pachamama on there, so that might mean something to somebody. Okay, so I'm going to read this from the book, and here's a sample. The book is divided up into the essence, the invitation, and the medicine. Now, the medicine is usually when that card is in reverse, so we don't have it in reverse, but I'm going to read it anyway because there's a lot of good wisdoms in this book, which probably something will apply to somebody in there. So here we go. The essence. The witness observes without engaging in any action. By cultivating inner stillness, we are able to assess any situation from a higher perspective and make better decisions. When we can be present for someone else's difficulties with stillness, then we are able to truly hear them and give them better advice. Sometimes we can be so still, we are a mirror for the other. Then, through our presence, they receive our own answers. They receive their own answers. Let me read that last sentence again, sorry. Then, through our presence, they receive their own answers. And before I move on in the book, I just love the word presence. Is when you divide up to pre-sent, like present, pre-sent, like we're present from the divine, source. All right, now the invitation in the book says, the witness that has been by your side all along is now ready to become your ally. You thought you were the doer, but today you discover that things happen when you get out of the way. Witness creation unfolding before you. Change reality by finding stillness and letting your true intent reveal itself. Okay, now the medicine portion of the book says, acknowledge your preconceptions, ideas, and feelings about the situation you are in, but resist the urge to change any of it. Do not fall back into your controlling patterns. Instead, take a few breaths and connect with the joy of not having to perform. Hold space for the world to keep spinning on its own. Ooh, that's pretty powerful. All right, let me just see if anything else wants to come up. So there's a lot to it about holding space. And I think the only thing that is coming to mind right now, not too much, is it's kind of why I wanted to mainly read from the book today. I'm not really feeling like I'm really connecting in on more than that today. But what I am getting with this is I like the way they were talking about really being still. And a lot of times it's more about holding space than speaking, right? And so in this case, it's reminding me back to the kalimba and music. The whole notion of when you play and when you know to rest, when you're looking at the musical notes, right? There's a time to strike or to play it or to pluck or whatever the note. And there's a time where we hold a beat, right? So in this case, it's about observing and just kind of holding that beat. And there's so much more meaning in the rests than, actually in the tones that are played. Like, what is that phrase? Like, silence can speak volumes, right? And that's all I'm getting here. All right, now we're going to move to group 2. All right, group 2, let's see what you have. You have number 33 or number 6. And I'm going to put the name of the Australian blog site below, where you just type in any number, any combination of numbers, and you get the positive aspects of that number if you want to look there further. And let's see this beautiful card and what message it has. It has some magic. Now, in your group, actually, you have 2 cards. So you've got the 33 of the 6 magic, and I'm going to come down at the same time. We'll read them back to back. You have number 56 or an 11 or 2. And then we have this beautiful card. This is actually one of my favorite cards in the whole deck. See those buffalo running in the sky, thunder. And actually they even have this on the back cover, I think, this image. Look at that glorious image. Okay, so now you have magic and thunder. So let's get to it in the book. Give me a moment to get there. We'll start off with the magic. And you have a little bonus card just as a bookmark that I threw in there is the moon. Okay, and that's actually very apropos because we just had the super blue moon. There's a lot of magic in the moonlight, right? All right, so as I've shown with the other decks, the companion book is really beautiful, and it breaks it down into the essence, the invitation, and the medicine. The medicine is usually when the card is in the reverse. I'm going to read it all, though, because this is such a well-written companion book. And then we'll go straight into the Thunder card, too. And then at the end of both, reading both, I'll just kind of look and see if there are any other messages that want to come through for now. And if not, we'll move on to the Bibliomancy at the end. So here we go for the magic. The essence. This symbol represents the infinite intelligence of Great Spirit that makes up the fundamental fabric of the universe. We experience the evidence of this magic through synchronicity or meaningful coincidence. Okay, the invitation. When magic appears, you're invited to see the world through the eyes of wonder and awe, taking on the innocence of the child who knows that all things are possible. Infinite potential exists in the great mind, and you are being invited to call it in and recognize the dance in synchronistic events, signs, symbols, and omens given to you through the oracle of the ordinary world. This is a sign that Spirit is reminding you that you co-create your world in a sacred partnership. Your part is to dream, to intend, and to watch for the signs that show you what next action to take. Right now, it appears that you are on the right track to make your dreams come true. Great Spirit is listening and acting on your behalf. Pay attention. Magic gives birth to miracles. And I'm going to get to the medicine part, but I just have to laugh because it's all about magic, and it was starting to get dim lit in here, and I was kind of struggling a bit to read without making too many mistakes, or not in a bad way, just not reading it correctly. And then voila, the light just popped on because it was on a timer, and I'm like, oh, how beautiful. It just totally illustrates the point of what's going on here with magic and synchronicity and quote-unquote coincidence, right? All right, so the medicine, if this card were in reverse, it would be, have you forgotten that you live in a world that is infused with magic? Well, I'll just say I didn't because I got it. It wasn't lost on me that light popped on at the right time by itself. Okay, I'll read it again. Have you forgotten that you live in a world that is infused with magic? Perhaps you've become cynical and think that you have to create your life all by yourself with no help from others. It's time to remember your relationship to Source, and I'll just say with a capital S. For you are a part of the story of the world, a living spark of spirit living on earth for this short time as an emissary of light. If you look back over your life, you will find many instances which your actions alone were not the cause of, quote unquote, out of the blue, coincidences that led you to that new relationship, job, or other important moment in your journey. So how do you stay in this awareness? The answer is simple. If you can be as a little child and cultivate that wondrous curiosity, you will see the magic again and be amazed. Remember, magic is real and in everything. And I just want to say, some people get a negative connotation with the word magic. Why? The 3 magi, if you're going to follow the Bible, magi, magic, hello. It's just, our innate, beautiful, wondrous abilities and our childlike wonder, connecting out with the world around us. So, and letting divine source flow through us. That's magic. So it really shouldn't be an issue there. But hey, I don't want to say shouldn'ts. That's just my take on it. All right, so now we're going to go to Thunder, and then we'll come back and see if there's anything that wants to come out message-wise for the 2 together. Give me a moment here. 56. Number 56, as we said, is an 11 or a 2. And let me just find it. I thought I had a bookmark, but it might have fallen out. Actually, I do have the bookmark, and funnily enough, I just kind of pulled cards out of the deck as spares to kind of throw in as a bookmark. And not only did you get Thunder, and I'll move to the card, you got this gorgeous Thunder card, just love it. You know, your bookmark was Lightning, so there you go, and that's number 30 or 3. All right, we're not going to go into that today, but that might mean something to you. Actually, I was rewatching an old movie. I don't know why I put it on, but I think it was from 2010, if that's old. But it was The Sorcerer's Apprentice. It was a Disney movie, but I was just laughing because if you know that movie, and spoiler alert if you're going to watch it, the character, the one main character in there, he goes, I'd like to introduce you to Thunder and Lightning, and he's pointing to each of his biceps, you know, just saying that he was able to be a tough guy, but really he used magic. It was just pretty funny. So that all ties too. Maybe that's a little hint for you if you want to go see that movie. It's interesting, I'll just say, and it's done in the spirit of a kids movie, so nothing violent in there that people can't handle. That's my kind of movie. Anyway, here we go. I'm going to read Thunder from here, and here's where we're headed. So we've got the essence, the invitation, and the medicine. Again, the medicine is for when the card is in reverse. It's not, but I'm going to read it anyway. Okay, here we go. The essence for Thunder. Legends speak of great thunder beings who live in the sky and call for your attention when great occurrences are meant to happen in the world. They warn when tensions in a situation are called upon to be released. Their presence in your reading reminds you of the dramatic moments in your life that change everything, both awesome and frightening, when thunder arrives. It is also a wake-up call, one that you will not soon forget. Okay, now that's sounding a little bit like a tower moment to me, tower moment in tarot. But let's just see what else it says. I don't think it's meant to be anything foreboding. It's just like, hey, wake up. Like sometimes we need something thunderous to happen to wake up, right? Or we just sleep right through it or hit snooze. All right, now we have the invitation. When thunder comes into your reading, it refers to a big dramatic change that feels like a herd of wild bison on the run. You feel it right through your bones, and you know that you are powerless to influence whatever events have been set into motion. This is a time to be prepared for anything. Your life is an adventure, and wonderful opportunities are arriving now. The trick is to learn to run with them. Qualities that you'll need now more than ever are flexibility, dexterity, and a willingness to experience it all without dictating from where or in what form opportunities will come. Your destiny is arriving. Be ready. And the medicine. Do you feel like unnecessary drama is waylaying your life? Could you be exhausted from listening to others tell you their never-ending victim story? Or could you be telling yourself a version of the same? It's time for an about-face. You're being warned that to continue on this path will cause you to regret your choices, even if they appear benign or familiar. It's time to say no to drama, both yours and others. Focus on solutions rather than problems. You are worthy of a drama-free life. Yeah, and the end of that is just reminding me of, focus on solutions rather than problems. It also reminds me of the phrase, like if somebody says, hey, can you do this? And you don't want to do it and you should say no, or you feel like you want to say no and you yourself are telling yourself you should say no. And you just don't, maybe you want to, are in people please mode, or you just don't want any drama. You're trying to make it go away, so you're trying to be pleasant. But really in your heart, you should say no. It just reminds me of just flipping it around and just saying, don't say what you can't do, but say what you can do. So you start off saying, well, I can't do that, but what I can do, put your emphasis on the can do part and just kind of sweep the other one under the rug up front. And you're kind of minimizing that it's even a struggle for yourself, and you're telling yourself you're removing that inner struggle. And that's just a little technique. I don't know why that's popping up, but it is. Okay, so there we have magic and thunder. So we've got a little bit about, what I'm getting from this pairing is that, hey, no matter what's coming along, the bottom card's kind of telling you, hey, don't be complacent. Don't just sit there. Be ready for action and adventure, even if it takes you out of your comfort zone, even if it looks like, oh my God, all hell is breaking loose. Well, you know what? Ride that wave. Don't fight the hell wave. Ride on top of it. See where it's going, see where it takes you. And as of the overall message of this entire reading is survival and surviving. We have everything that we need within us already to survive any situation. But this isn't about surviving. This is about let yourself get caught up and swept up in life, but not the drama of it, but in the power, the strength, and the lessons of it. And you're going to come to the other end, and things will calm down, and you're going to look at things in a different point of view, in a different way. And when you change your perception, that's when the magic happens. That's when miracles happen. That's all I got for that. So now we're going to move on to group number 1. Hi, group 1, let's go. We've got number 43 or number 7 in the description box below, or area below. I hate saying box, sorry. And I hate saying hate. But anyway, in the description area below, I will put the name of the Australian blog site where it talks about the numerology, the positive aspects of the numbers. And if you just type in any number you want, it could be 43, it could be 7, it could be anything. It will give you some really positive messages and meanings about those numbers. All right, so now let's look at your card, and you have gorgeous card, the Rattle. So I'm going to read straight up from the book, and if any messages want to come through after, so be it. That's great. If not, we'll get into the Bibliomancy part of the reading. All right, so now, let's see. We're going to go to 43, if I can find it. I thought I had a bookmark. Let's see what happened. Give me a minute. Apparently, lost the bookmark. Hold on. Yeah, bookmark fell out. So you know what? Everyone else kind of got a little bonus bookmark reading, so I'm going to pull one out randomly here so that you don't fall short. Okay, so the other card I pulled out that would have been the bookmark is the Blade. That's a gorgeous card. I really love that. And number 6, so that's a bonus for you. But we're not going to go through that in detail. We're just going to go on the Rattle. So as I've shown the other groups, the way the book is set out, there's a beautiful companion book on this deck, by the way. We're going to have the Essence, the Invitation, and the Medicine. The Medicine is usually when the card is pulled in reverse, but I really love the content of this companion book, so I'm going to read them all and see if any messages jump out for you, okay? Regardless if it's upright or not. So the Rattle, number 43, number 7, the Essence. The Rattle is the spirit caller, carrying the shaman's prayer to the 4 directions. The body of the rattle is like the earth spinning on its axis. With the aid of the rattle, the medicine woman instills a desired destiny in her future, closing with the prayer, quote, "Great Spirit, may your will be done," end quote. The rattle guides us to pray for all the earth, not just for our personal needs. When we offer our prayers for the highest good of all, everything we need is provided for us. The Invitation. The rattle comes to invite you to work with the tools of spirit, but be careful. They are very sharp and can hurt you and others if they are not used mindfully. Set your old tools aside and take up the drawing instruments of spirit. You are consciously stepping into partnership with the divine. This is time for courageous deeds. Do not let your hesitation get in the way of your expression. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. Do not let your hesitation get in the way of your expression. The Medicine. You want to catch God on the whisper, not on the shout. What you are trying to craft to your own desires and expectations is already there, standing before you. Do not spin the world to your own benefit. You are being offered the Creator's tools, which must be put to use to serve a divine purpose. Okay, so that message overwhelmingly is talking about, what's good for the world, and your intent to wish well, for the entire earth is wishing well, for yourself. So let's just see if there's anything else that I'm kind of picking up on, and if not, it's fine. Yeah, I guess this just what's coming to me on this card is the descriptions talking about it spinning, and that, when it is spun by the medicine person, it is, kind of emulating the spinning or the symbolization or metaphor of, the earth spinning. But what's interesting is in this case, the depiction of this, the illustration is showing it at a state of rest. And so only thing I'm getting here, another little thing to add on, although the book was, really beautiful message in and of its own right, is just maybe before you pick up that rattle and before you, in essence, you start to get moving and into motion and starting to create with your mind and your imagination, just remember, what is that intent, that moment, that little beat of rest, that moment of rest before you beat something, so to speak. What is that intention you are setting out? Just maybe do a little double check in with yourself. what I'm about to embark on, or what I'm about to put into motion. Is it something that is, for the highest good of all, or is it just for me? And saying to yourself, and there are times where, of course, there are things that you're going to do for yourself, and I don't see that as a negative thing. We need to fill up ourselves to get things going. But this isn't the case. I think they're talking about when you have a choice to make, whether it's purely self-driven, or if there's a way that you can put it out there that's for the good of all. Why not put it out for the good of all? Because that also returns to you, right? Okay, that's it for now. So that was it as far as the cards, everyone. And now let's try a little bit of Bibliomancy, shall we? Now this is the interesting thing, though. Since each deck, not each deck, each pile or group had very different messages. In a certain sense, I think we could tie them all together, but I think we'll just go with something a little more generic this time. And even though you can ask specific questions and then do the Bibliomancy, I think that touching off on the spirit of the very last group we did, which was actually group 1 since we went in reverse, the Rattle's message, I think that we will just do this Bibliomancy in the spirit of what do we all need to hear right now for our highest good? And that's what we'll just leave it at that and see what message comes through. So you can't see it, but I assure you, I'm just going to randomly, I'm going to go off camera a little bit. I'm closing my eyes and I'm opening the book with my left hand, keeping them closed. And then I'm going to open to a page that I feel, and then I got to switch hands with the camera here, and then point with my right hand, and we'll see what message comes through. Okay? So again, dear God, Great Spirit, love, the Creator, Source, Universe, God, Jesus, Buddha, all everything, love, the Creator, and the love that is all there is. What do we all need to hear right in this moment? Okay, I can already see it in my mind's eye. And now it's going to be a funny little thing that I do with the camera. Hang on, bear with me. I'm just going to scan the page with my right hand to see where I want to stop. Okay, here's where I stop. Now we're going to read this together because I have no idea what I'm doing here. where I landed. So ground. I love it. Ground, earth. Let's just read the whole little passage for fun. Actually, I'm going to come off camera. I'm going to show the candle just because I can't. It's hard for me to read through the viewfinder, and read down at the book at the same time. It won't focus. So let me do it this way. Ready? Arctic. Ice provides no habitat. Ice provides no habitat for plants or ground animals. Even polar bears are likely only where they can find prey, and they are difficult and dangerous to hunt. Seabirds, fish, and seals, where there is water, are the potential foods. Foxes, the Arctic fox, turns white in winter. Sometimes follow polar bears onto sea ice to scavenge their kills. Northern wildlife is migratory, and availability depends on season. Okay, let me just read this silently for a minute. I know I read it in a weird cadence too. I don't know why I did that. Hold on. I think it's just to show me, trying to guide me through all of this to pick out the essence. Now, I did land on ground. Okay, the word ground. And right away, that just is reminding me that a whole part of survival is to ground down and connect into the earth and get calm, don't panic, to even see and assess, get your bearings on where you're headed, north, south, east, west, really cueing into your surroundings. Look at where maybe the sun is rising, and if there's a moon, then, navigating by the stars, that kind of a thing. Again, using the ingenuity, also recognizing what is right there, right around you and within you to use as tools to survive and get what you need. Let's just see, hold on. Okay, so again, biggest message is grounding. And also, when it says northern wildlife is migratory and availability depends on season, again, that just reminds me that no matter where we find ourselves, and if things change and we're being called to rise to the occasion with change and be flexible and adaptable, yeah, we can. We come with everything. We're equipped, like I said at the very beginning. We have everything we need to adapt, when called. And it's just kind of funny because if we look at that with the survival book and the arrow and the grounding part, it also just reminds me, of the arrow and the 4 directions when we're talking about which way are we going to go. And there's the directions on the compass, the north, south, east, west, obviously the other little cardinal points. But there's also that inner compass and, intuition. And that's what we're being called actually to go on, even stronger than some of our other known kind of survival tips and techniques, right? Okay, and then that's where the real magic happens, when we key into that and do that. All right, I think that's going to be it for now. Just feel guided to say, hey, if you want to make a wish, make a little wish here. I'm going to blow it out on camera. Make that wish or make 2. All right. Well, wishing all of you the best, and have a beautiful evening or day wherever you are. Have a beautiful right now. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye. Tremendous peace and love to you, I've heard to say. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.